Right, so I hope everyone's doing alright. This video is about the only way I can describe it, or the only name I know for it, is a French bird trap trigger, or a French drop box trap trigger. And it's a trap trigger for mainly bird traps. And what they do is their cage is normally like a square kind of box of wood with mesh over the top, and that's pretty much it. Then they have this trigger. So you're going to need some type of wire, relatively strong wire, a thin-ish piece of wood, and a nail, a small nail. So we'll bend these bits of wire and I'll show you how to make it. So we've got two bits of wire. I'm going to bend these, so basically they just go up, across and then back down again. We'll use this longer piece for that. I suppose you could have them at a slight angle, if you know what I mean, splaying out at the bottom a little bit. And this, it don't have to be any specific way really, as long as it is roughly like that. Now I've just got to cut the bottoms off because they're not quite right. And what you could do as well, you could bend it a little bit more and just have a little dip in the middle part. I'll show you that. You could make a little dip in the middle there. It might just help a little bit, but it doesn't need to be. Right, so that's one piece done. I'm just going to get this other bit. I'm going to cut this end off of here. So the next bit, you want to bend a loop in this. Keep bending it, depends how small you want the loop. This is all just, you know, none of this has to be overly precise. So that's what we've got there. Can you see that? We'll have to cut these again in a minute just to make sure they're the right sizes. So that is essentially trigger done. Now this one's got to be shorter than these two for a start, so we know that, so we'll cut this one off there straight away. We know that's got to be shorter. Now depending on how high you want your cage to stand, that's going to be determined by how high this part is. So the cage is only going to sit as high as this is. So the higher you want the cage, the longer these have to be. That makes sense. Now that goes on there. Now we could shorten this one because it doesn't need to be that long. I'm going to cut that in half at least. So I hope you can see this. It's a little bit dark in here. And that is basically part of the trigger. You can see what it's going to do. It's going to sit like that. Cage is going to sit on this part, and this bit's going to be held by a stick, like that, if you can see. So I'm just going to do a little bit more adjusting. I'm just going to cut the end off of this a little bit. So now we've got these two bits. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this box just for demonstration purposes. You would use a proper cage, if you know what I mean. So you can see it wants to flip out. So we've got to stop that doing that with a stick. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to cut a little notch on one end of this stick. It can just be done with a saw or whatever. Flat part there on the outer side, if you know what I mean. I might just shave this down a little bit, just so it's a little bit lighter. So what I'm going to do now, like I said, I'm going to put that through. I'm going to put that through this gap at the back. Now, on a normal cage, you would just put that through the bars. I'm going to put that through the back. And when I know where I want it, I'm just going to hold it where it is. And on the bottom side of this, I'm going to hammer a nail. That is what we've got there. A nail on the bottom side, on that side a notch. So I'm going to cut off the excess and then we'll set it up. So what the nail does, it goes through the back. You could do it with a piece of string, goes through the back and hooks it on there. Because this one, the trigger wants to pull it out. As long as there's enough pressure to hold this. I'll move this camera around a bit so you can see it better. So I'm hoping you can see this. So this one here, that one there, that is the one that's got the loop in it. These two is your arched ones. This is your stick with the notch. Nail hooking it at the bottom, being hooked that end there by the downward piece of wire with a loop in it. The cage is pressing on it, making it want to flip out this way. I'll set it up again from this position, so hopefully you can see it. I will move the camera around in a second so you can see it from different positions. So you can see it there, how it's being hooked on. And then at the back, the nail is just hooking it on at the back. Pretty simple really. You know, the top one you could shorten it if you wanted to. Plenty of space for the animal, for the bird to go in. Stand on that perch quite easily. And very easy to make actually. Goes off very easy as well. Right, here's for watching. I'll see you later.